Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tuesday 10 with CadChica Sports. I am your host, Sunny Cadwallader, also known as CadChica on Twitter. Tuesday 10 is a quick 10-minute chat with leaders and up-and-comers in the world of sports in business and marketing, public relations, social media, media broadcasting, and much more. And tonight, my guest hails from the world of digital media, but he's kind of a jack of all trades. Please welcome in my guest, Derrick, don't call me Darnell, Docket. Hey, Derrick. Hey, Derrick.
How's it going? I'm not worthy of that applause. I told you that earlier too.
I had to go a little beast mode with the special effects of Google Plus, so we had to bring that in because you are deserving of some applause because of everything I've learned from you. And just the sense of humor that you bring, and I hope you guys will be able to see a little bit of that. Derrick, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background?
Sure. Well, I am the Assistant Commissioner of New Media and Technology at the Missouri Valley Conference now in my fourth year, finishing up. It'll be a fourth complete year at the end of the season. Handle everything from social media, website, video content, photography, some marketing. Have a lot of different responsibilities on my plate. We're a small office. We have about 10, 11 full-time people on our staff, so we do a lot with our resources, and we try our best to be efficient as we can. Originally was a marketing sort of graphic designer, worked at a couple of advertising agencies, marketing agencies, and sort of just a buddy sent me a job. He said, "You got to apply for this. This is up your alley." And it's kind of like, I don't really know, and didn't really have the sports background. I didn't go to college for sports management or sports marketing, anything like that. I was just graphic design was my thing. Applied for it, and I got the job because they said, we're looking for someone to help us think outside the box, different approach, a different viewpoint. So that's sort of how I landed at the Valley, and I'm still there, and they still let me come back every day.
That's good because I think one of the things I've appreciated about you is how creative and innovative you are, but yet at the same time you're a student of it because you have to you wear a lot of hats: digital media, social media, and like you said, marketing. How are you able to balance all of that? How are you able to use all of that for the Missouri Valley Conference? Because how many states does the Missouri Valley Conference hold? How many does it reach?
Between our 10 full-time members, 5 states: Kansas, Wichita State, Missouri State, a couple schools in Illinois, Indiana. That's our footprint there. You know what? Honestly, you think about it, it's sort of where I've gotten a little bit of creative freedom. When I came into the role, it was more along the lines to help sort of build the brand.
Right.
Back in 2010, everyone's sort of learning, as we all are today, learning social media, digital media, and trying to figure out different ways to help build a brand and help create some effective marketing practices. My very first task, believe it or not, when I got there was to redo our website. It was like, by any means, it wasn't antiquated, but just needed a design refresher, and that's sort of what I brought from a different viewpoint, was to make it look inviting to fans, look more energetic.
Right.
I think we accomplished that, and we're actually going to be doing a website redesign real soon, hopefully to launch in the summer. But it's sort of been, for me, educational because at the same time managing a website, managing social media, but also the marketing responsibilities that I have. I'm responsible for doing a lot of our print projects, our brochures. I design all our billboards. But the thing that sort of helps me is the fact that we can bring it all in-house and make it look consistent. Like, for example, this year was a great year with our men's basketball tournament.
Right.
All of our branding for our men's basketball tournament from October all the way through March was consistent. We had the consistent look, consistent messaging, and it worked. And we did it through print, went online, even our video content shared the same look. And it's one thing I was sort of really proud of, that we were able to accomplish that this year and help it translate not only just to how things look on screen or look on paper, but the fans really like seeing something saying, oh, well, that's the Valley. I know where I've seen that. That's the brochure looks like that. The tickets look like that. The billboard looks like that. And it really helps, everything become recognizable when they got to the
Right.
arena. was really cool because it's like, oh, those the program, the media guy, everything
Right.
was great, and it was great for us to do that this year, and hopefully we'll continue that next year too.
Now, you're one of the few people, I shouldn't say few because I'm not connected with everybody, but one of the conferences that I've seen utilizing Google Plus and the Hangouts feature. What made you decide to come over to Google Plus? Was it specifically the Hangouts feature, or are there other possibilities coming utilizing Google Plus down the road?
Honestly, it was the Hangout feature, another opportunity to do something creative, do something a little bit out of the box. Of course, now everyone's going in that direction, but I just felt,
No, not yet, not yet.
well, it's getting there. But to me, when I first started doing it, it's probably been a year and a half, 2 years now. I mean, a slow growth, but
Yeah,
I'll admit, even I struggle because I handle so many of our different platforms. It's a struggle to remember to post content
right,
everywhere you go.
right.
But I got to a mode where thinking I need to get stuff here, I need to get stuff here, because when I do want to get to the consistent basis of having Hangouts, we'll have some visibility there. Um, but video content has been sort of our thing. That's one of my things. One of my bosses says we need to do video. Can you help us do more video?
Right.
Fans don't read our releases, but when I post a video with it, the traffic jumps on it.
Right.
So the Hangout feature was something I thought, well, this might have some energy with it. And we did. I remember the first one that we did following like the fall, the beginning of men's basketball season. We actually did one with two men's basketball players, separate Hangouts, but we just had invited fans online just to chat with the players,
Oh,
and I
cool.
thought they went really, really well. Now those were the only two Hangouts that we did that whole year, which sort of was a downer. I couldn't really put any others in action, but we're getting there. We did one last few weeks, or week and a half, 2 weeks ago, with our commissioner, where we took took questions from Twitter, and I served as the moderator, and he was open. He even said to him, he thought himself, you know what, appreciate the transparency. This is different because normally we would tape a segment like that, and I would do post production on it. But he was appreciative of the fact that we could see the questions coming in on the side of the screen, and he just sort of said, "Oh, I'll answer it, no big deal." So hopefully we'll be able to do that more in the future and then get some of our coaches and student athletes involved.
Cool. Um, there's been a funny thing going on with you on Twitter, and that's how Derek and I connected, was through Twitter. There's been a funny thing outside of your Missouri Valley Conference things. Let me do a quick screen share and see if I can uh, jog your memory here just a little bit.
I'm afraid of what I'm going to see.
All right, let me bring it up here. Still learning this. So, can you tell me about this picture?
Well, that picture looks like it is defensive tackle for the Arizona Cardinals, Darnell Docket, and his Twitter handle is DDocket, spelled DDDOCKETT. And as you'll see in this tweet from Ace Hunt, who was the sports information director at Indiana State, my
We're
Twitter
not
handle.
throwing him under the bus, are
No,
we?
we're not. We're not at all, because he's one of the people that knows how to roll with the punches. Ace is a great guy, but also I get tweets mistakenly sent for me that are meant for Darnell, and that's happened for the last, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years maybe.
Like
More
this
obviously
one?
more frequently in the NFL season,
Like this one?
like that one. Yes, yeah,
And I think this was a pretty good one.
yeah, yeah.
But it all started because of this story, didn't it?
Yes, when he live tweeted getting pulled over and his car searched by police. True story. I was sitting in our conference room working with one of my bosses and said, "Something's going on. I'm getting all these weird tweets sent in my direction for some reason. I'm not sure why." And I pulled up that story like a couple hours later. It's like, oh no, oh no. And at that moment, I literally thought, what am I going to do? I need to switch my Twitter handle. Like, this is not good. What do I do? This is going to keep happening and happening. And that came on that day. And there have been a few other days where the volume's been really, really high, and I sort of didn't know what to do. But I don't know when I decided just to say, well, these people got to be smarter than that to know that I'm not him, and decided to put the hashtag beast mode in front of it. That was my way of showing I'm joking. That's my sort of way of saying that. And
Yes.
then I'm gonna reply with, maybe they do think I'm like
Darnell.
right. So I'm going to put something value related. So I'll say, hey, or it's just me. So some people have said, Darnell, you're not, and not those words, you're not a good player. And I said, well, that's unfortunate. I'm doing my best trying to redesign a website. So I poke fun at myself. So it's good to have a little fun with it and show some self-deprecation in there. I enjoy it. So I think the people that follow me that see it enjoy it a lot too. So that understand the confusion.
Yes, definitely. It's a great use of the hashtag because I know when I see your tweets coming on my timeline and I see beast mode, I'm like, oh man, another sports fan thinks they're tweeting at Darnell Docket.
Yeah. And the funny thing is too is that it's now spawned this minor community of mistaken identity Twitter people. One guy, Dan Wade, who works for a local marketing company, digital marketing company. Some folks may have heard of it, called Locker Dome, station here in St. Louis. He gets tweets meant for Dwayne Wade all the time, and it's kind of like, how does this happen? I mean, my bio says assistant commissioner, Missouri Valley Conference, social media nerd.
It goes to show people don't always read the bio.
Very true. Very true.
Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Candace. She just put a comment that she and her son are in the house, and I know she said that her son is a big sports fan. So thank you, Candace, for tuning in. Who have been some of the biggest mentors in your life?
That's a really good question. You know what? When I think about it, when I think about my life completely overall, obviously I look towards my mother. She's been like a person that's shown me the value of hard work, has again done a lot with less, and like to this day continues to work her butt off, and like is one of those sort of people that you go, you know what, if she can do it, I certainly can do it. So it helps like motivate you. Mm-hmm. My wife is absolutely amazing. She's a school teacher. She's a high school teacher.
She has a lot of patience then.
Yeah, yes.
She's a saint.
Absolutely. And whenever, like, I don't even think about some of my struggles because she's doing a job that's way more important than what I do working in sports. But she's definitely one of those people where it's like I have no room to complain because she's doing something, so much more valuable that's helping, mold young minds for the future. When I look towards sort of like my workspace, there's a lot of folks that sort of help me, along the way. Honestly, a lot of folks I've met strictly off Twitter. A gentleman here in St. Louis, Sean Connors, that actually, showed me the job. I've learned a lot from social media from Sean, and he's been sort of a guy I can just bounce ideas off of. And he doesn't even work in sports; he's just a copywriter, but really creative guy. Bright thinker. Chris Yandel, University of Miami, everyone knows what a rock star he is. The guy is just amazing. I mean, what do you say about him? He's going to get an award from COSATA this year for being one of the best young professionals. And every day I see something that Miami does, it's kind of like, jotting it in the notebook because they might want to keep that one in my back pocket. So those guys out there just do a great job. So, and honestly, there's people that it's so many to name because I literally just try to absorb it all because these people have been working in athletics much more longer than I have. But so many people that have worked so hard that are willing to share advice with me. Right. And they come to me like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I need to be asking you this. You're more knowledgeable than me. Some of those people along the way that have had an effect on me and helped me, become just a little bit better each day. I owe all those people a lot of thanks. So.
Oh, definitely. And I've seen you give back too. I know, I don't know if he's watching, but Morrissey White, the third, he's with the Racer Nation. I've seen you reach out to him and several others throughout Twitter, and that's what you do. You learn from your mentors and you pass it along, pay it forward. So I definitely wanted to ask you that question because a lot of what we become and what we do, we're influenced by who our mentors have been. So that's cool. Good shout out to your mom and your wife. You're making sure the key women in your life are taken care of.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
You got mom points and wife points. You have a good night. One last question I do want to ask you, because you said you didn't really want to, you weren't really steering into the whole sports management area. Your graphic design was more your thing, but did you actually play sports when you were little?
I played sports.
Younger, maybe not necessarily little, but
Yeah,
younger.
young, yeah, good way of phrasing it. I played a little bit of basketball in eighth grade, seventh and eighth grade. After that, sort of was kind of like, I don't know, this ain't really my thing. I went to a small private school, so it was much easier to get on the team. You know, when your school is 120 kids and there's like 12 people in eighth grade, it's much easier. Went to a much larger high school and didn't play. Really got into art at that point and got into drawing and stuff. But funny story, although I didn't play in high school, played a lot, just, pick up basketball. Everyone does that, just messing around, everything like that. Once I got to college, played a lot of intramural sports with my friends that I became friends with living in the dorms when I went to school at Missouri State in Springfield, Missouri. One of my friends actually said, my senior year, you guys should come on out. We're going to do, there's going to be a practice, a tryout for the basketball scout team. And it's kind of like,
cool.
Why would I do that? That's kind of weird. And he said, I was tall, and it's like, you would be helpful. It'd be kind of cool. You get some.
Come on, brother, you could do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, oh, whatever. And then he threw in the fact, oh, by the way, it's the women's team. I said, what? This is weird. So, but I ended up going to the tryout, and it was nothing more than us playing pickup basketball. And the assistant coach actually wanted me for it, to be on the scout team. But long story short, I'll make it quick here, is that I wanted to do it, couldn't do it because I was graduating in December. So I wasn't going to be able to stay throughout the year because I was really ready to get home and move back to St. Louis. Right. But the year that I was there, some folks may have heard of it. Her name is Jackie Stiles. She was a freshman when I was a freshman at Missouri State, formerly known as Southwest Missouri State. I would have been on the scout team the year that they reached the Final Four. So the year that she broke the scoring record and all that stuff. So I didn't do it. My buddy did do it and has all the stories. But, I got to at least, sort of revel in the fact that I'd made a couple friends out of it, and a couple of players that lived in our dorm on our floor were a little bit more friendly to us, and we were able to approach them like, oh, yeah, you guys are doing great, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And got to go to the Final Four, even though they lost. They played that in St. Louis this year, which is hosted by the Missouri Valley Conference, oddly enough. History sort of wrapping around here.
There you go.
But yeah, that's sort of the closest I've come. That's the highest level of my athletic expertise, I guess.
I think I did. Jackie Stiles was here in Spokane that year, so I did get to see her, and she was just amazing. The areas of the floor that she was hitting threes from would put Harrison from Kentucky to shame, because that's how good she was. But that story, Derrick, deserves this.
Very nice. Very nice.
I know that I said that was the last question, but being in St. Louis, they have the Rams, they have the Cardinals. What team is your team?
Oh, that's an easy. First and foremost, it's Cardinals. I mean, this is a baseball city. I mean, I don't know if folks that are watching have ever been to a Cardinal game or seen anything like that on TV. Like yesterday was opening day, and like everyone talks about in the media how there's nothing like opening day in St. Louis, but it really is pretty cool. I've been just a couple times in a lifelong St. Louis, and been like twice in my life. Such a coveted sort of ticket to go to, but it's something about Cardinal baseball here. I mean, it's just the thing, and it's really weird because I can watch anybody. College basketball for me is number two. It's definitely number two because I can watch anyone play college basketball.
Right.
The Rams are okay. Obviously, we've had some struggles the last couple years. It's a hometown team, so I have no problem rooting for them. But when your number one team goes to the playoffs almost every year, and it's kind of unique where in my lifetime that they've won, 2006, 2011. I mean, they've won championships. I mean, only like the Yankees. I mean, that's just something special. I'm like, I know I'm not trying to rub it in like on the Bears fans or anything.
I have such great friends who like to rub in their championships or their successes, and
It's not my
it's
success.
not a stab in the back, it's a stab to the heart. That's
It,
okay, Derek.
it's
That's fine. Me and my Mariners will just keep hanging on and
It's not my
hoping.
success at all. I am just a fan, and I'm just proud to be a fan. And believe it or not, I will honestly say I do not live and die with them, but I definitely do. Just when the Cardinal baseball is on, it's on my TV, and I'm paying attention to it. So I'll leave it at that.
I think we did a hangout during the playoffs last year.
Yeah, we did. During
You
World Series,
you were hosting it, and you had one eye on the computer screen and one eye
yep.
on the TV screen. So
I'm not
that
sure who scheduled that one, but yeah, it was like game 3 or something of like NLCS or NLDS, kind of like, yeah, you guys got to bear with me. I'm watching the Cardinals here, so
you were just hosting. That's all. No big
that's
deal.
all. Yeah, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me, Derek. I had so much fun with you. We have a good time on Twitter, just exchanging, some sarcasm, learning from each other, sharing stuff here and on Google Plus. Why don't you tell everyone your call to action, how they can connect with you in social media, or even with the Missouri Valley Conference as well.
Sure. Well, obviously they can find me on Twitter at D-Docket. That's one T, D-O-C-K-E-T, D-Docket.
No beast mode.
Yeah, yeah. They can also, I'm on Google Plus, search my name, Derrick Docket, and I'm sharing a lot of the Valley stuff, sharing some of my own stuff on there, and doing hangouts all the time. I tweet a lot, so I'll warn you, I tweet a lot about a lot of sports, a lot of Valley stuff, a lot of college basketball, but hey, that's what Twitter for is, right? If you're going to have a Twitter account, might as well use it.
And WWE, I'm sure.
A little bit, not a whole lot, but whenever I run into Tarek or some other folks, they get me going, or Jimmy.
And Jimmy and Tarek, yes.
It happens because we go back. My days from wrestling fandom are from the late 90s, early 2000s, and that's where we sort of get into our tangent. So it does happen every once in a while. So.
Yeah, that's okay. And how can they connect with the Missouri Valley Conference as well?
Sure. We have 2 Twitter accounts. At NBC Sports is our main account for all our sports in general. Valley Hoops, which is specifically for men's and women's basketball. Traffic on that one's going to slow down a little bit, but we do share some stuff in the off season. We do a lot of memories. I'm sharing a couple of things on Instagram where they can follow us there at NBC Sports. Doing some NBC Hoops memories from each team throughout on Instagram. Google Plus as well, Missouri Valley Conference, YouTube, Missouri Valley Vids. We're on a lot of platforms. If they go to NBCsports.com/social media, and you'll see a little icon on our homepage. It says social media directory. You'll see a list of all of our accounts that I manage. We're on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, with the exception of Snapchat and a few others, we're on a lot of them. So I try my best to post some good content on each one specifically. And it works out for us. Even on Pinterest, we're even on there doing our Missouri Valley Illustrated magazine covers. So.
I did see that. You do a lot of infographics there as well, and I've pinned quite a few on my account too. So great job all across all of the platforms, Derek, for you and the Missouri Valley Conference. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure, and I hope we can do this again. And I enjoy your work and what you're doing here, too, because these are really fun to watch and to learn from people in the business, marketing, sports, media, whatever it might be, just to get their thoughts on things, because this is something truly unique that we have the opportunity of sharing across the board, that everyone can share their experiences. So kudos to you for keeping this going.
Thanks, Derek. And I think we need to do another SM Sports Chat hangout soon.
You're right. We do. We got to get that going, especially now that my busy season's over. So
there we go. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in and joining me. And tune in next week. We'll be at our regular time at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday. I'll be joined by Tampa Bay Lightning director of, I believe he's also the director of digital media, James Royer, and head of their social media, Katie Kaufman. We'll be talking all about the quest for the cup. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. We'll see you next week.